Yes.
So what matters is like
Yes.
is your seed at the end of the day.
Yes.
What parent doesn't want to have a good relationship with their kids, but still, wants to live with their kids and their lives, every day?
Absolutely,
It's
sir.
like
Absolutely.
make that make sense. So
Does that make that make sense?
So it's just, something to consider.
Yeah.
At least for those of y'all that, haven't listened, been listening. Yeah, if you feel that way, then it's likely you. If you feel that way, then it's likely you. Yeah.
This is an awesome conversation, man.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to throw that out there.
I'm loving it. I'm enjoying it,
So the last question I ask is, why do you think toxic relationships are more popular or common than healthy relationships, i.e., what we see on TV, social media, even our friend base when they're constantly complaining about the girl or the dude that they are in a relationship with, and why are toxic relationships normalized? It's like the normal thing to do
now.
Because if you're not in a toxic relationship to where y'all cussing each other out and y'all breaking up every other week and all that, I mean, it's like y'all's relationship is boring or y'all some bums over there. Or y'all whack because
it's peaceful.
Yeah,
Because it's peaceful.
my God.
Because it's
Yeah, why is peace? Why is it a bad thing? You gotta have a ratchet relationship. Like why do we want that? Why is that popular?
And I get that. Peace can, and I'm gonna play devil's advocate a little bit. Okay. Peace can be boring. A long, super long time, it can be boring. But it's not like anybody wants drama 24/7.
Yes.
So, but relationships they have their arguments. Anyways. So it's not like I'm not gonna seek out toxicity. But to answer that question better, toxic relationships, man. So I feel like they're being promoted more. Just like this kind of just like certain kinds of music on the radio. I don't even watch TV or listen to the radio, but because of especially the radio, because certain kind of music, right? What it's pushing out affects your mind, affects how you interact with other people as well.
Yes.
So it's like you gotta stay away from that, but you keep exposing yourself to that, you keep taking in that, then you're gonna. It's gonna change. Well, you're gonna act on that. You're gonna act on that.
Yeah.
So you respond to that. You act on that. So you're gonna either attract someone that's toxic to you, or you may be you may act in a toxic way and not even realize it. And then I won't say a outrightly toxic way, but a subliminal toxic way, not even realize it. So. Yeah, it's just, I mean, there are people that still want, healthy relationships, of course, but it's not being promoted like that, like it used to be, the TV shows,
what is it, the Real Housewives and all that kind of
reality
stuff.
shows now, it's that's a popular thing, but, growing up, the kind of shows that you like, TV shows,
Family Matters, the Cosby Show, my wife did, the wholesome family units.
Right, healthy relationships
there,
family structure, keeping that together. So, it's just, that's what's being pushed out, and people that watch or listen to, because it's not even just radio and TV, social media as well.
Yes, sir.
These celebrities.
Yes, sir.
In toxic relationships. One prime example I could think of, and don't come for me. Blueface.
Yes, because I never listened to any music. I don't know what the heck they sing, but I know that name.
Heard their music, but
yes,
because of YouTube. So right, and YouTube's the only social media I engage in. But one video about their relationship, and you can tell it's toxic.
Oh my God.
You can tell it's toxic, and so.
I mean, literal fist fighting, and then you hugged up and slugged up each other. Like, what are we doing?
No. But yeah, there are people that, that are, I guess used to that. Maybe, because of how they were brought up when they were little, or, some traumatizing event that, and they think it's normal because it happened to them when they were little.
Yes, sir.
Or either, there's a ton of factors that can go into this.
Absolutely.
So, toxic relationships, they've really like become more popular today, and gosh, that is so odd. They've really become more popular because.
But then you're expecting
it's being normal. It's being normalized. And that's the thing.
But you're expecting good results out of something that's toxic. Ain't that the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting a different result. And you constantly are getting into these relationships that ain't amounting to nothing. But you want a good outcome.
You want it to work, yeah.
You want it to work.
It's like it didn't work the first time. Like
go back to what you were saying in the beginning.
Yeah, it didn't work the third. Like
keep getting back with the same person over and over again.
At that point, and if you're being like the selfless one, at that point, you're being dumb, or like, I wouldn't even
in love.
Like, at that point,
so in love.
How much do you value yourself? That you're willing to protect. That you're willing to protect.
There we go, sir.
You're willing to protect. Your peace of mind.
Yeah.
Your boundaries. Because if someone that doesn't value themselves, or someone. You can call them a fool.
Yeah.
It's like just a moth to a flame.
Mm-hmm.
So you really gotta consider that. You've gotta take in the information and consider that. Is what this person doing? Is this is this person gaslighting? And don't just take it to other. Don't just think about it yourself. Like ask your family because more perspectives can help you see things that you don't see yourself.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I wouldn't say just go to a therapist straight away, but
that actually goes into chapter 7.
What?
Your perception is not always reality.
Yeah, it's not. So because we're not always 100%, and some days we do sometimes we do get caught up in the emotions. So it's okay. It's better to let it just get that space to yourself, let the emotions die down some or down a lot.
Yeah.
And then you can make that rational, that logical decision. And then, because it's better to make that logical decision than an emotional one at the end of the day.
Yes.
So I've had situations where I've thought I've thought emotionally, and then I ended up doing something that I looked back and I was like, dang, because when I look back at it, I was thinking logically. Yeah. So.
Oh man, that's good right there. When I did it, I was thinking emotionally or reacting emotionally, but in retrospective, when I thought back on it, I was looking at it logically. Oh, that's good, man.
Logically.
That's good.
Yeah, and going back to what I said, bringing it to your family members or your friends, to help you with the situation, because you're in the situation, and if you get caught up emotionally, you're not thinking straight. But someone that's not in the situation, they're thinking about it logically, so they can help you in that time of need instead of you having to look back.
Wow.
They help you in that time of need. So it's them.
They can see it clearly.
Right. They can take you out of the picture. They can take you out of the picture and be like, hey, okay, it's like taking someone to the side and be like, hey, you was wrong, or hey, you shouldn't have let that happen to you. Yeah.
And an unbiased perspective.
Unbiased perspective. Yes. Yeah. Someone that you trust at the end of the day. Someone that, wants to, help you get better, someone that's, selfless. And so, go to that kind of person for advice. And if you don't have someone like that in your life for advice, then yes, go to my man's, right? Go to him for help, man.
I mean, you bring up a very valid point in being very selective who we go to advice from. Because I mean, you see a lot of folks who go to their single friends for relationship advice. Like, why are you going to a single friend who can't keep a relationship, and then either the dude or the female just like, well, I leave them, I do this, I wouldn't take that, I would. Well, how is your relationship going? When was the last time you had somebody? And so how in the world? Now I don't want to put a generalized blanket statement on that. Because everybody's walk of life is different. Somebody could have, could be a widower or a widow or something like that.
Yeah.
Or somebody who is on the right path about relationships and they got out of a toxic relationship and they're growing within themselves. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm not saying you cannot go to a single person, but you gotta be very careful and selective with the single person, or just to your point, just be selective in general about who we talk to and seek wise counsel.
Right.
Not just counsel, wise counsel.
That matters.
From people, And it's sad that,
that's a very good point.
And it's even sad that sometimes we can't even go to our parents or our elders for wise counsel.
Yeah.
I'm like, you may be older, but that was some trash advice you gave me.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I'm sorry. That was straight trash.
Hey, but example that age is just a number, man.
Yes.
Age is just a number.
Yes.
But yeah, so I mean, and you'll figure it out. You'll definitely figure it out because especially like if you just observe people, you'll know, you can tell when someone is wise, when someone has like good advice.
Absolutely.
And that's typically like the person that people like go to like for advice. Right. So, but yeah, like that's pretty much it. Like you've really just got to be careful because not everyone is meant to like know that kind of, not everyone is meant to like know that kind of information. If especially like if you know someone that's like prone to like sharing information with people that you are uncomfortable with them knowing it, and it's like, okay, if you knew that and shared it with them regardless, then you shouldn't be mad at you shouldn't be mad at them because you knew you knew it's all you at that point.
You knew that person was shady.
But yeah, just like if you don't want to like get out there, just go to someone that will keep it just between you and them. Yeah. But at the end of the day, you can come out of that conversation, having a better sense of, okay, this is what I need to do, or this is how the relationship can get better, like moving forward.
Yes, sir.
So having a person like that in your life, like really helps out a lot. Would really, put your mind more at ease. So. Yeah, that's an example of a good friend.
Yeah. That's what's up, man. So
I want to hear.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to hear like your answer to the last question. Actually, more.
Oh man.
Yeah. I ain't gonna let you. No.
Stop it trying to get off the hook, bro.
Yeah. You've been taking advantage of it for my questions.
I've been trying to do some segues. So, why do I think toxic relationships are more prevalent and more publicized?
I don't mind if you overlap either. Like, yeah.
I just think number one is because of it's entertaining.
Ooh, yes.
Yes. Because how much rating, if we're talking about social media platforms and television shows and reality shows, as you were saying, like the Family Matters and the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and those wholesome Moesha, the Cosby Show.
Yes.
For a specific generation, which is sad to say we've moved away from that, it's not that entertaining. Really dealing with real family issues, the family unit, dealing with kids, two-parent households. I believe it's strategic that we're trying to shift away from normalcy, because now in society, right is wrong, wrong is right. There is so much ambiguity. There's no even such thing as a man and a woman no more. Everything is so jaded. Is again going back to my truth, my perspective, live my truth, and my truth is right because it's relative to me. So when we're talking about this chaos that's going on now, of people thinking that us slapping each other upside the head and cussing each other out, and we can never have a decent conversation without yelling at each other. That's what society wants to portray now as the thing to do, because it's entertaining, it's fire, it's vibrant. That's a relationship because there's action, there's emotion. It's like we're trying to live out a movie every day. The suspense, the climax, the action pack, like coming to a theater near you. The next, that's what I think. That's what people think is a vibrant relationship. So why do I think it's normalized? Nobody. It's sad to say, but I don't think people really want what you said earlier. They want quietness, or they just think boring.
Yeah, they don't want peace.
I don't think people say they want peace.
Yeah,
but they want peace on their own terms. They want it when they want it.
Yeah.
So
they don't want it all the time.
No, they don't. They don't want, quote unquote, want it all the time. But again, why would you go to a concert where it's loud, but you say you want peace and quiet? It's like we want the environment of stuff, but we don't want to take everything that comes along with it. We want to pick and choose.
Right. What aspects of it,
to create this perfect. So you saying, I hear, women will say, I want a bad boy. But you know what bad boys do. But you expect the bad boy to act like a good boy. But you want the benefits of the bad boy. And you want him to act like a bad boy when it's convenient, but then you want him to be a good boy when it's convenient.
When it's convenient, yeah.
Even dudes, we want our woman to have her own bag. We want her to be independent because she ain't got to depend on me. But then I want her to still do whatever I say do when I say do it. I want you to be a traditional woman and a modern woman at the same time. Or the woman wants the man to be a traditional man and a modern man at the same time.
I'm still trying to find something like that. Yeah.
It don't work.
It don't work like that.
You can't pick and choose when it's convenient for you. And so when we talk about this love thing, you gotta be. If you say you love somebody, you got to be all in. You just can't pick and choose on which day you want to love them, and let that be it. Well, I'll just love you on Tuesdays and on Friday nights. that don't make sense.
What?
That don't make sense. So that's why I think it's normalized. Then I don't want to get into all the spiritual stuff and whatnot, but that's just the way that the world is right now. It's going downhill very quickly.
Oh yeah. And
that's the fulfillment of prophecy, fulfillment of scripture, that the world is supposed to get this way, because of the principalities of who's running the show right now in the world. We already know that.
Yeah.
So it's gonna get worse. The world is not gonna get better. And I'm sorry to say, and I know I may get some flack for this out there in TV land, But I don't care how much praying we do, how much interceding we do, how much oil people want to throw, how many altar calls, how many revivals we put in place. The world is going to get worse because Scripture says so.
Oh, hey, you can't get mad at him, bro. The Scripture says so. You gotta take that.
Scripture says so.
He's just the messenger. Mm-hmm.
So yes, we can intercede for people to come to a saving knowledge, pertaining to the gospel and whatnot. But this world is fallen, and something that has fallen continues to fall. And that's why Christ said he is going to come back to get his remnant out before it crashes and burns. Mm. So he's going to make a new heaven and a new earth. So if this one gets better, it's contradicting what Christ says that he is going to make a new one. Why would you need to make a new something that gets better? So it does not make sense. So again, Christian saints, say whatever you want to say. Scripture teaches.
It's just staying true to the word. That's it. But you know that, so you got to prepare for it. That's the only thing.
And yeah, so we still do our part because we want to see people come to the saving knowledge of Christ. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this is not our final destination. This is not our final home.
Oh, most definitely. No.
So no, the world is not going to get better, but we as the church do need to stand up and be a better example. We need to stand for certain things, mm-hmm. Because the world is influencing us right now. We're not influencing the world. We're bringing so much stuff into the church.
Oh yes.
The glitz and glamour and the...
Ooh, this is a conversation. oh my God, man.
So, yes, I agree with that we need to do a better job by standing on the principles, the doctrines, and the theological precepts of the text, of the scripture, of what the church is called to do. But is this world going to get better? No. We as the church are supposed to be getting better, not the world.
Mm-hmm. Got to be that beacon of light.
Yes.
Yeah, that people can, go to. That,
yes.
Because, I've seen, because I've been on the other end of the spectrum, people do. They use Christians as the reason why they're not Christians. Mm-hmm. The Christians in church, they use it as the reason why they're not Christians.
Mm-hmm. I don't go to church because there's hypocrites there. But you still go to the grocery store. There's hypocrites there. You still go to the gym and work out. There's hypocrites there. You blaming God for humans hurting you.
God loves you, bro. That's the thing. God loves us.
You holding God responsible for something that another man or another woman did to you. Well, it was in the church. Well, somebody hurt you on your job, but you still go to work. So help me make that make sense.
That's a good one.
But we still do these things in the world, but let it be something dealing with the church.
No, we quick to turn away.
We quick. But then and I know we have totally digressed on this, but my question to people then is, if it's so easy for you to turn away, were you even really in the faith?
Yeah.
And that's a very hard question for people to have to face. But it's a real question. If it was that easy for you to just throw up your hands and walk away, were you even, was there an actual, a genuine heart change? Was there a genuine salvation that took place?
Right.
Because you didn't get your way, now you're gone.
That's a really good question. That's really, and to relate to that, I'd say me and a former best friend, I thought something just like that when we well, I wouldn't say when he cut me off, and I pretty much say he cut me off because I checked him on something. When I checked him on something, I didn't even think twice about you know, I didn't feel bad about it, and it's because I didn't come at him wrong. I was in this space where, you know, I was in this space where I was like so calm, and I just wanted, you know, I wanted, because we were like best friends. I was like, okay, we can get through this because we're best friends. Like, you know, this is just like this is just an argument, bro. Like we can get through this. But so I ended up like, you know, talking to him about something that, you know, that just didn't make me feel right, and I told him that, you know, and like, you know, we got off the phone with each other, and you know, I'm thinking, you know, I didn't feel bad about, you know, I wasn't like gaslighting him or nothing like that, but you know, I thought we were still cool until this one point where I like texted him like a funny video, and you know, he texted me back saying something like nah, I'm good. I'm like, yeah. So I was like, oh yeah, like, so I was like, this whole time, like, I didn't know he was like, you know, I didn't know he was like stuck on that, you know, this whole, because I was like, you know, like, I done got it off my chest. I said what I had to say, but I wasn't like dissing it. I didn't come at him wrong. And so I was like, I was good. But if I didn't say anything, I would have been like, you know, I wouldn't have felt good. Like, I would have been holding that in. So, but, you know, because I like checked him on that, it's like, this dude like cut me off. So it's like, when I thought about it, like, you know, a moment after, I was like, how much did you really value that relationship if after something small like that, you were just willing to cut me off? So it's like, if that's how you do Jesus, bro, it's like, right, if that's how you do Jesus, how much did you value that, you know, salvation? Like, you was in it just for you? You was really in it just for you? Because, like, that's facts.
Yes,
it's
sir.
Facts.
That's straight facts.
So when you ask a question like that, yeah, like, people, it forces people to, like, to reveal that truth that people aren't comfortable revealing. The truth isn't a comfortable thing to reveal a lot of the time.
And that's why people say, my truth.
Yeah. Your truth.
Not the truth. But my truth, because my truth is based on how I feel and my perception, and it could very well not be the reality. So that's why I want to live. Let me just live in my truth, because that's where I feel safe. That's where I can get my way and justify what I'm doing, because it's my truth. How can you tell me about my truth?
My truth. I'm right in my reality.
Yes, yeah. I'm right in my reality. So I have that autonomy in my world that whatever I say, whatever edict or whatever I say is right, because it's my truth. But I know we totally digress. But
I know, yeah, like that. That's a combo. For oh my gosh, man.
I know that's another episode. But I really want to thank my friend D for coming to chat it up with me. I truly appreciate it, sir.
I appreciate you, like, you know, reaching. I appreciate you, like, asking me to come here, because, like, I really enjoyed this conversation. Like, this was fire. Like, this the conversation. Like, this the kind of, like, you know, conversations where you just, you know, you leave like just thinking about it.
Yes.
Like, you know, like in a good way. Like, yo,
yes,
I can't wait to do this again.
It pushes you again. The value it pushes us to be better.
Better. Yeah.
And that's the root of this entire platform, everybody. You know, the book, Thinking Differently About Relationships, Paradigm, is really geared towards how do we get to a place to where we start to think differently about relationships, starting to think differently about how we engage and how we show up in relationships. How do we become better as individuals so that we can influence our families, our communities, society, take this thing nationally, globally, and I'm just crazy enough to believe we can take this to the world. So again, until next time, keep thinking about relationships in a different way. Peace.